I'm Darlene Greene. I am a Reiki master and a certified alternative practitioner. I'm certified in a number of different modalities, and we can talk about that later if you want to. The number one thing that I'm here to talk about tonight is healing frequencies, how they affect you, your health, your well-being, and the things that you can do to facilitate optimal health and well-being, both personally, in your home space, in your workspace, wherever you spend a lot of time. You want to take those healing energies and tools with you into those places as well. So understanding the frequencies of health and wellness is our topic. Einstein is quoted many years ago that the future of medicine would be the medicine of frequencies, because everything has a frequency. Everything is energy, and at all times we're all interacting on a very molecular level with everything in the world, each other, the planet, the countertops, whatever you are around, you're interacting with those energies all the time. So when you can understand the frequency of the energies around you, you can begin to utilize those frequencies for healing and well-being, because they have proven that, for instance, if you have a negative cell, an unhealthy cell, and you hit that cell with the right frequency, it will destroy that cell but not do anything to the other cells. This has been proven scientifically over and over and over again. So it is not only from an esoteric standpoint true, but it's also been proven from a scientific perspective. So everyone knows that energy flows through the body like an electrical current flows through your house, okay? And there are circuits within the body that energy flows. Remember, you can't laugh. So,
It's precious.
the main energy points through the body are the chakras. And they run down the center of the body. So starting at the base, right at the groin area, you have the root chakra. Then you have the sacral chakra, which is just above, okay? And then right around the center of the body, you have your solar plexus. You have your heart chakra. You have your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown. And they're colored because those colors correlate with the chakras, okay? And y'all are pretty familiar with the chakras. Not everybody is, and I didn't know what mix of folks we have, so I don't want to oversimplify, but I didn't want to leave something out for somebody who may not be that knowledgeable. So the root chakra is red. The element for that is earth. It's the body's sense of smell, and the glands it controls are the reproductive organs. Sacral is orange. The element is water. And it is the body's sense of taste, and the glands are the adrenals. Solar plexus is yellow. The element is fire. It's the body's sense of sight, and it's the gland pancreas. Heart is green. The element is air. The body sense is touch, and the gland is the thymus. Throat is light blue, turquoise, depending on what chart you're looking at. Element is ether, the ether body, and the body sense is hearing. The gland is thyroid. The third eye is deep blue indigo. The element is spirit. The body sense is ESP. Gland is pituitary, and the crown is purple. The element is spirit. The body senses all of the senses, and the gland is pineal. Okay, so those are the major chakras. There are 7 of those, and then there are 21 minor chakras. So you have the soles of both feet, behind both knees, the gonads. You have 2 for the spleen, 1 for the stomach, 1 for the liver, 1 for the palm of each hand, 1 on each breast, 1 on each side of the clavicle, one behind each eye, one on each temple, and one in the center of the chest, which is for the thymus gland. So if you know where these chakras are, then you can be aware of the energy flowing through them, and if you have blocks. So if you were feeling somehow, you had some tightness in the stomach, then you might be having some issues with that chakra, the solar plexus, that would make you a little bit tense, anxious, nervous, whatever. When financial fears are generally lower, they go into the sacral or the root chakra, because that's your sense of security, well-being. Do I have enough food? Do I have shelter? Do I have heat? Do I have water? So you want to pay attention to where those sensitivities in the body, those intuitions come to you on. That will help identify the blocks. Now, obviously, if you're working with a practitioner, someone like me, that's part of what I do, is help you find those blocks and then clear them. Because what you always want to have, the most positive thing you can have, is all the circuits open and running smoothly all the time. When you have that, you have optimal health and wellness. The other really great thing about the human body is that it is self-healing. You do not need anything else out there for your body to heal if you give it the right tools, which is hydration, proper food, proper rest, and the spiritual alignment that you need to have for this circuit pattern to run. Your body will heal and stay healthy. So then we go to the auric field. And the auric field is the energy field that goes out from the body, okay? And it has layers and it has colors, and depending on a lot of times emotions that you're feeling, one color may be predominant to the others, but a healthy aura is going to be like a rainbow effect. And it goes out from the body usually, 6 to 12 inches. If you're feeling fantastic and everything's going great, it can go out further. I have been in energy training classes where the practitioner has said, no, bring that in, because you don't want to send too much energy out there. You want to keep it more contained, because then you're less likely to have something interfere with it or get picked up in the field that you don't want. So the essential oils for, and these are on your reference sheet, the essential oils for each major chakra. For root is patchouli, myrrh, and cedarwood. For sacral, it's sandalwood, jasmine, rose, ylang ylang, and champaka. For solar plexus, it's sage, geranium, and juniper. For throat, it's chamomile, lavender, rosemary, thyme. Third eye is frankincense or basil. And the crown chakra is ylang ylang, rosewood, or linden. So, like with ylang ylang, you get two benefits out of that, because you're going to be working on your sacral and on your crown with the same essential oil. But all these essential oils are pretty common and they're easy to come by. All I recommend is that when you're buying your essential oils, you make sure that you're getting quality oils that are therapeutic grade from a reliable distributor. Then you have crystals that will help heal the auric field and keep that energy field clear. Amber is on your list to start. That aligns the aura with the physical body, mind, and spirit. It draws off negative energy and clears and cleanses the aura. Amethyst gently cleans the aura. It heals holes and protects it, and it draws in divine energy. Amethyst is one of my favorite because you get a lot of benefits from that. And if you've noticed that a lot of alternative health practitioners, they wear crystals, as you can see. I mean, I don't go anywhere without them. And back in the day, before I realized I could create bracelets, I would have them shoved in my bra and in my pockets, and then I forget and go to get undressed, and rocks everywhere. Apache tears will protect the aura from absorbing negative energies, which is very important, especially in crowded situations or circumstances where there's going to be like conflict. Black jade guards the aura against negativity. Bloodstone is an etheric cleanser that benefits the aura. Citrine cleanses and aligns the aura, fills gaps. Fluorite and tourmaline provide a psychic shield. Those are really important stones for people who have a lot of empath tendencies, because they're picking up on the energies and the emotions of others, and the fluorite and the tourmaline can really help set up some good barriers to protect them from that over-embracing other people's stuff. Green tourmaline heals holes in the aura. Jet protects the aura against other people's negative thoughts. Labradorite prevents energy leakage. That's very important, because you don't want, that's just like letting your aura get out too far from your body. You're letting your energy go, so to speak. You're letting it sort of thin out too much. So labradorite also helps protect against having the energy from your aura leak out. It provides protection by aligning to spiritual energy, which is higher self or the universe. Magnetite is strengthening to the aura. Quartz is a good all-around crystal. It cleanses, protects, increases the auric field, and it seals holes. Kunzite and selenite detach mental influences on the aura, again very good for empaths. Pedalite is the highest vibration, and it releases negative karma and entities from the aura. One of the things that people don't realize, the average person walking the street, they're just walking around and they're not paying attention to these things, and what happens is that energy exchange is going on all the time. Positive energy is buoyant, it's light, it's uplifting, but it bounces, okay? Negative energy is sticky. So if you've got a person walking around who's not really aware or paying attention, they go into a situation where there's negativity or negative energy or whatever, and it will actually start to cling to them. And then they're carrying around what isn't even their negative energy, it's other people's negative energy, but it falls into their energy field, and guess what? It impacts their overall energy, and that negativity flows down into their system, which is not a good thing. So, and then smoky quartz is good for grounding, and it dissolves negative patterns that are caught in the aura, because like anything else, the auric field is an energy field, but it can develop patterns, and if you had negative patterns that got caught, in the field, it will clear those out for you. I believe that is a very important factor in frequency healing and health and wellness, to make sure that you're using these tools to clear your space. Not only yourself, but your space, because where you spend time, your home, your office, your car, every room in my home has selenite over the doors, and I have different protective crystals throughout the house for different purposes. And I have, like for instance, I have fluorite columns on my mantle in my living room, because that's the center of my home, and this lends itself to peace, harmony, and well-being in the home, so that the people in that space experience peace, harmony, and well-being. So that's a really good place to keep in the center of your home. Is really good to keep fluorite. I keep black tourmaline in my car along with selenite. Selenite is a very good clearing crystal. It's a protective crystal. Black tourmaline is a protective crystal. And if you look at them, they both look like string cheese. This looks like black string cheese. It's like clear string cheese. Tourmaline can be gotten wet and it won't hurt it. Selenite cannot be in water, so you have to be very cognizant of things like that. You can't put selenite anywhere that'll get wet, it'll just disintegrate. But I keep both of these in my car because it does create a good positive field of energy in my car, and I feel safer when these are in my car because, I mean, all those little moments where, you know, somebody starts to cut you off in traffic and you notice it and you're able to avoid an accident or whatever, I believe that those are things that happen because I'm doing the things that I need to do to protect that energy field. Crystals in your office, your home, your car. One trick that I learned many years ago is using Apache tears to protect the property. Okay? One of my mentors told me years and years ago I was having trouble with people that I needed to disassociate with, and she told me if I planted Apache tears in the four corners of my property, anyone that was not good for me to spend time with wouldn't want to be in my space, and anybody that had like negative intention, malicious intention or whatever would not want to be on my property. So it's a very good protection to put into the four corners of your property. And I mean, these are very inexpensive and they're very tiny, and you can bury them and nobody will ever know, and it'll be extra protection for your property. The other things you can do for clearing your energy field, and these are all tools for personal use, you know, to help you stay as clear energetically as possible. Smudging with sage, lavender, rosemary, mugwort, sweetgrass, palo santo, any of those are good to use. My favorite, bathing in Epsom salts, soaking in water with Epsom salts, baking soda, essential oils. You clear the whole entire auric field. And it's funny because I talk about taking a bath and people go, oh, but you're sitting in dirty water. And what people don't understand is that when you get out of the bathtub, if you have a bathtub ring, that is a good thing. Because that means that all that toxin came out of your skin and is now gone. And once it comes out, it can't go back in. So it's not like, you know, well, I'm sitting in all this toxin and it's going to get back in me. It's not the way the body works. It's not the way the water transmission works when you're in that environment. It goes out and it stays out, but your auric field is completely clear at that point. So it's wonderful to do that. If you really can't do baths, and you know, you may not have a bathtub, a lot of people don't, the other option is to take a shower. This requires more effort, in my opinion. You know, you can't just get in there and just kind of chill. Because this requires that you visualize. But you get in the shower, you stand under the shower head, and you begin to visualize the divine light coming down through the shower head onto the top of your head, raining down over your body, washing the aura clean, washing everything down, and anything that is in your body, in your system, in your energy field, in your cells that does not serve you, it's going right down the drain and out. And that's another way to do it. And that's always a good one to use, especially like if you're traveling, because, you know, it's not always easy to take a bath, you know, sometimes when you're traveling. So that's a good one to do. You can do anywhere.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What about pink Himalayan salt?
Okay. Well, it's interesting you asked about that. I don't use anything but pink salt.
Okay.
Okay. And I make salt scrub. So to prepare for doing this today, because I needed my energy to be really clear to do this, I scrubbed with the pink salt all over in my tub and made sure that everything, all my energy was clear and cleansed, and all the gaps, holes, anything that could be open was sealed by scrubbing with the pink salt. And I don't eat anything with pink salt. I mean, if you ever dine out with me, people are always amused because I go in my purse if I need to salt my tomatoes or whatever and pull out my little bag of pink salt because I refuse.
I think I've seen you do that. Yeah.
I refuse to eat table salt because A, it's not salt, and B, it's really unhealthy. Anyway, so then if you've done all these things and you're still having challenge, and my belief as a practitioner is I need to help people understand how to heal and protect themselves. Protect themselves from negative energies, protect themselves from things that would not create health and wellness for them, and also how to regenerate those positive vibrations that they need so that their body can stay at the optimal healing level that we all want all the time. But it's not always easy to do. I mean, life happens, really fast sometimes, and so we don't always have the ability to do that for ourselves. Sometimes we need help. I've spent my whole career having people that I could go to that could help me when I got stuck, or I felt like the blocks just weren't clear and I needed some assistance. So that's what I do. And if you get to that point, then we have several modalities that I think are especially good. Reiki is working through the body very gently. I'm a little bit different than a lot of Reiki practitioners, partly because of the way that I was initially trained. I do Reiki without actually touching my clients. So it's all, like just over the body part. And that, for most people, is more comfortable. And I tell people it's like getting massage without being touched, because there are people who don't enjoy being touched by somebody else. So that creates a level of comfort for a lot of people, not feeling like that they're going to be touched. But there are a lot of Reiki practitioners who do actually put hands on. You get the benefit regardless. But that's a very gentle manipulation of the energy field to help heal, cleanse, clear blocks, and everything. But then I was introduced to sound therapy and my tuning forks. And what I found was, for me, it's like Reiki on steroids. I mean, it's like I can get all the same stuff with Reiki. I'm using all the same Reiki practices, but I've got this additional tool that has all that additional impact, and it also works really fast. So, you take the tuning fork, and these, I have a set, and it's actually one for each chakra. So there's a root, a sacral, solar plexus, whatever. And I use whichever fork I'm called to based on whatever issue that I'm trying to help a client work through. And it's been amazing. But there are so many levels of sound therapy now being put out there that it's almost overwhelming, and I've been doing this for a long time. So you can have sound therapy like this. I think that having a sound treatment, like a Reiki sound treatment, is probably one of the most healthy things that a person could do, especially if they're experiencing some kind of block energetically. But it also can just be, again, like a massage without being touched, where you just have that, everybody needs that sense of relaxation, really deep relaxation that you get sometimes from a massage. An hour of massage can remove a month of stress. So if you're a person that's in a job that's, say, really high stress, and you're dealing with that day in and day out, but maybe you don't like to get massage for whatever reason, you just don't want to lay naked on the table with a stranger rubbing on you. You can do this, and you get all those same benefits, and in my opinion, more, because this is dealing with not just the physical body, but it's also dealing with the energetic body. Actually, some pretty good things that you can get if you just want some quick sound treatment, sound pick-me-up. You can go to YouTube and you can Google frequency healing, and there you'll get a number of things that you can just listen to for free, and it'll tell you, you know, this is for the crown chakra, or this is for healing the heart, or this is for if you have a headache. One of the other things about really high level frequency healing, and I'm working on that next level, is that if you say you've got a headache and you think you need to take an aspirin, but if I can hit the frequency of aspirin, because aspirin is just another thing, it's got energy field, it's got a frequency. If I can hit the frequency of aspirin and put that in your energy field, then it's just like you took an aspirin with none of the side effects of taking an aspirin. You know, your liver's not having to process it, it's not having to swallow it, it's not giving you the indigestion in your stomach. You know, you're getting all the benefits of that aspirin frequency without having to physically take it. And that's huge. And that's where I think Einstein was thinking that medicine was going to go, because if we get to the point where we can identify and pinpoint those frequencies for all those different things, then you can basically cure anything. Anything that comes up, you'd be able to find the frequency to correct it very quickly. So I did a little clearing on everyone here this evening or whatever, and that is pretty much the culmination of what I wanted to talk about, unless you want to open the floor for questions.
Well, I had a question about that Himalayan salt. That was my question, because I actually did that at the beach last week when I was with people, because I'm not used to being with so many people, all women. They're just kind of, you know, even though we're family, you know how we can get. And so I soaked in the tub for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and it was like a whole different.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have Epsom salts handy, my body, for whatever reason, and I've been doing this for a really long time, so I was taking Epsom salts baths decades ago, and my body really craves the magnesium. But if I didn't have Epsom salts handy, I would use pink salt, and whenever I really want to do a clear and cleanse, I'll use the pink salt scrub anyway. So you just scrub the whole body. I mean, I do my face. I do, if it's the fine grained pink salt, you can use it anywhere on the body. And I scrub my whole body with it, and let all of it go.
Yeah.
It's very, very therapeutic. And then I will tell you one thing that I do, because I can't, I mean, I move around a lot. You know, I'm meeting with customers, I'm doing things. I can't always, you know, like pull these out and start doing something on myself or somebody else or whatever. So I wanted to have something that I could carry with me anytime, anywhere. And I researched, and I finally found a frequency app that you can download. You can download it onto an Android or an iPhone, and it's called Frequency Brainwaves Frequency Sounds by iMobLife. iMobLife. And it costs, when you ask what it costs, it gives you a variety of prices. So I just put the range in here. It's $35.99 to $48.99 for the app. But I've been using it now for a while, and I have found it very, very beneficial. And the really good news is that, you know, you can use it anywhere, anytime. You know, the only thing that you have to be really cognizant of there is I spend a lot of time in the car, and you have to learn which ones that you can listen to when you're riding and which ones you should not listen to when you're riding. And they're really good about telling you or giving you kind of a heads up or whatever, because some of them, they're good, they're energizing or whatever, but some of them, they just zone you right out, and that's not good when you're behind the wheel of the car. But, you know, like sitting in a waiting room, you know, like one of the things that I've always been frustrated by is, when you make appointments and then you get there and then, you have to wait. And sometimes it seems like you wait indefinitely, especially if it's a medical appointment. But it's something that you can do even in that, everybody has earbuds now, and you just pop those in and you can do something therapeutic and beneficial for yourself while you're otherwise in what would be considered dead space. Where
Don't get that. To write it down.
I put it in my notes and I didn't think about putting it on there, but
Okay.
it's on here. I'll write it down for you. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you were tuning us with the forks, what do you feel on the other end? Because I've never used any. Like, can you feel the energy shifting where there's blockages or where there's whatever? Because I could feel it when you went over all of this down here with my sacral and solar plexus.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's like, it's the same energy treatment as Reiki. And didn't you tell me you did Reiki 1? Okay, so when they taught you, you put your hands there and you let the energy flow in until you feel it release, and then you move to the next spot. Well, it's the same thing doing this.
Okay.
You just like all of a sudden it's like feeling something like a spring uncoil. And
because I could feel that when I was doing the Amadeus as well with people, and I practiced on other people, on my husband. And Amadeus is a wonderful modality, and I'm certified in that too. And I really like using Amadeus, but I tend to use Amadeus more for myself personally than for other people, because I found that the sound therapy, when I'm working with another client, that overall has more benefit.
Well, that kind of makes everybody a little different anyway, because you take a little bit of this one, a little bit of that,
Yeah, Amadeus is really good for kind of like what I consider like generic distance stuff. A friend says, my dad's in the hospital, we're not sure what's wrong or whatever, and send him some Amadeus, because that's from the heart. That's pure love energy going out. And Amadeus is one of those things that you can send out, and if they accept it, they accept it, and if they don't accept it, it's okay. But you just put some love out in the universe, and to me, there's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. This really only works when the person is open to receiving, but it's more powerful, in my opinion.
I felt it. And I was doing Reiki for years, but I didn't know that was what I was actually doing.
Yeah, and that's what it was for me. I've been doing this for years, and I didn't know that that's what I was doing.
Well, I was kind of doing the Amadeus the same way.
And it was really good, because do you know how my set of forks, should I tell you this? My husband gave them to me for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Now, I've been a practitioner and doing all these different modalities all these years. But, to get up on your birthday and you have this package and you open it up and it's a set of tuning forks, and I'm going, huh? And he was like, I don't know how to explain it, but I saw them and I just knew you had to have them. And as soon as I picked one up and started working with it, I was like, this makes perfect sense. And that's the way I believe it is with practitioners that are really in tune, that the modality that works for them, it's just going to be there. They're going to be like, okay, because I believe that truth, whatever it is, it rings. Your heart knows. You do not have to be sold.
Well, that's kind of like with the Amadeus. I had never heard of it until you told me, and a lot of people have it. And
it's not real common around here.
No, and as soon as I read about it, I was like, that's it. I need to do that.
Yeah, and
fit.
that was the thing when you started telling me I haven't found my right thing, and then it was like you would really Amadeus would be the thing that would work for her, and
yeah.
then you were like, this is perfect.
Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's a beautiful modality.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. But like I said, I use it more for myself. For those that I can't really say, hey, is it okay if I do this for you? I've never had someone tell me, oh no, don't send me any energy. Oh no, don't send me any love. Oh no, don't send me a healing. I've never had that. Never in my 30 plus years of doing this. It could happen, but I've never had anybody say no. But when you can't ask, I think the Amadeus is the is the best modality for sending that out there.
Well, you know, it's in us, I think, anyway, to be healer. We may not have a word for it, but I mean, we are divine beings. So I mean, we're beings of light and all. So we it's there. We just don't know. We've forgotten it.
And
basically.
This can be done distance too, just like Reiki or Amadeus or whatever. This can be. I can work with somebody distance. It's just you know, whether or not the person's comfortable with that. And some people are fine with distance, and some people they want to be there and they want to have the actual hands-on, so to speak, experience. And you just have to kind of go with it. Now I've done distance healing on friends or clients or whatever, and it was distance because it wasn't possible for us to be together, but it was just as beneficial and therapeutic. My best friend got cancer, and it was really bad, and her husband, who's a total skeptic, up until this point, called me and he was like, is there anything that you can do? And I said, yeah, she's told me many times I can send her healing anytime. I said, so yeah, let me work on her tonight. And so I did a remote session on her, and it was the first time in days she had not been in pain. So when you can do that for someone, even though they're 8 hours away, that's a positive. That's a real benefit, because I mean, they were more than willing to give her narcotics, but he was like, I'm not comfortable with any more of this, pain medication going into her body, because I worry about what that's going to do to her. But I can't stand to see her suffer either. So, there's a lot of positives, and thank you God, she is cancer free now. Yes, with between the alternative healing and the medical treatment, she's now completely healed, which is wonderful. So I would never tell somebody, if you have some kind of chronic condition, or, you come up and you're diagnosed with something or whatever, should you do alternative? Absolutely. But you should also follow your medical practitioner's recommendations and advice, because they don't have to be, one or the other. They can be very complementary. But what can happen is that if you're doing this medical stuff that needs to be done, and you're doing the alternative too, the healing process actually is faster and it's more thorough.
Right. So, I mean, I truly believe that we're spiritual beings before we're physical.
Yeah, we're spirits in a body, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I believe that if you did have a medical crisis and you took advantage of both traditional medicine and alternative, you would have the benefits of a much more rapid healing process, and it would be comprehensive healing, because you'd be working on the whole energy body as well as the physical body.
Okay, the medical part's doing its thing, but you're enabling them to heal faster, right? So the medical can get in there and do its thing. Strengthening them as well.
Well, like with my friend, her cancer oncologist was an East Indian. And so he was very, very open to the spiritual side of healing. Then he encouraged that. I mean, if that's your belief, if you're a believer in alternative and the spiritual and energetic aspects of healing, and your practitioner is going, no, that's a bunch of bunk, my suggestion was ask for a second opinion by somebody else. I mean, a second opinion in the medical establishment is never a bad idea.
My brother's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he's doing radiation and chemo all at the same time. It's starting to catch up with him, and I'm trying to talk to him. I told you about it. I'm trying to talk to him about it, and he just climbed up on it.
Well, I call her my adopted mom, but my alternative mentor that I've been with for over 30 years now, she is a practicing astrologer and has been an alternative practitioner her whole life. She got breast cancer, and she did go through, I mean, she had a mastectomy and she had radiation. She did not have chemotherapy, but she did alternative through all of that, and it's been 20 years now, and she's been completely cancer-free. It's never been an issue in her body since, and I do believe that healing is because she was taking advantage of both. Well, I mean, that's the thing, you've got to be willing.
I am. I'm sitting between both my brothers, because the other one had a kidney transplant 18 years ago. He's back on dialysis. And my mother is totally bedridden. So maybe I'm draining myself too.
Well, if you're experiencing that angst on their behalf, then yes, that can drain your energy field too. And one of the things, in the last years of their life, I was taking care of both my parents, and my dad lived with me, and my mother was in a facility, and then they were both in a facility, and then they were in 2 different facilities, and it was just tons of fun. And it was very, very draining. On top of that, going into an assisted living or a nursing home or hospital or whatever, I mean, that's a lot of energy, and it's not positive energy, okay? And there's a lot of entities and other things hanging around. And I got to the point where I was really like drained. I mean, it's exhausting anyway, but I mean, and it finally dawned on me, okay, you're not protecting yourself and shielding yourself before you go in there. So I literally had to become my ritual. When I pulled into the parking lot, I had to set up all my protections and all my shields before I went in, so that I wasn't picking up all that.
I pick up a lot of, I can ask you that after we're done, but that just reminded me, I pick up a lot of stuff and I don't want to.
Yeah, when I first got attuned in Reiki, I was walking across a store parking lot, and I walked past this car, and there were some people over there or whatever, and it felt like the top of my head was being pulled off. And I mean, I didn't know what was happening. It was a weird sensation. And I called my trainer, and I was like, what is that? And she goes, okay, that's a really strong energy. She said, you either walk through an energy vortex, or those people's energy was so strong, negative, that it was pulling you. She said, if you don't learn to shield, she said, you're not going to be able to go anywhere, because it's going to constantly be pulling at you, because again, we're all energy, we're all connected, we're connected to everything around us. You have to create that shield in order to go out there, because I mean, it's hard enough to keep my energy field clear. I can't keep everybody in the world's energy field clear, just walking around, in a store. So
This is what I needed to remind me.
I mean, and then it follows me home.
Yeah, well, it will.
So.
I mean, I used to put, back before, you train yourself and you get used to it, and then it becomes automatic. But before I got automatic, I had notes. There was one on my dashboard. There was one on my doors. I went out, you know, to get in my car. I put notes everywhere to remind myself, you know, do this, do that, stop, because otherwise, you know, it's too easy to have my energy corrupted by the environment.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I need to get
Yeah.
some more tools in my tool belt for.
Yeah.
I need to get back into it. I used to do it all too, and kind of let it slide. And it's been a weird year.
Well,
It has,
that's the other thing. It's really easy to get out of the habits.
Yep.
It's like anything else. It's a habit, and then when you have something really disruptive in your life, and you get out of the habit, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I haven't done my clearing in 2 weeks. No wonder I feel awful.
I'm in your whatever.
Well, y'all been great. I appreciate it so much. I hope
Thank
this
you.
is helpful.
Yes.
Very, very, very much.
And, you know, I look forward to working with y'all or anybody that you recommend, because we can all use help from time to time.
And I really needed it. I really, after last night. And I guess that all happened last night, so I could bring it to the table today because I need the help.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Darlene.
And
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.